You might have heard of the story of Boudica, the fearless 1st century British queen who led her army in slaughtering 80,000 Roman soldiers. But what you might not know is that behind all that bravado was a fragile woman who had to endure unimaginable pain and suffering that almost broke her spirit. From being flogged till she passed out to watching her daughters deflowered before her very eyes, Boudica's story is a perfect mixture of excruciating pain and intense pleasure, and trust me to tell you all about it. Boudica was the queen of Iceni, a rich tribe that inhabited modern-day Norfolk and parts of Cambridgeshire, Suffolk, and Lincolnshire, all in England. All was rosy when her husband Protagus, the king of Iceni, was alive. The king had secured his kingdom by aligning with the Roman Empire. This way his citizens wouldn't be pillaged, and his family would be safe. He even named the Roman emperor, along with his 2 daughters, as successors to his throne, all to prevent Rome from attacking his people and ransacking his household. However, once he passed, all hell broke loose. Rome broke the agreement they had with the kingdom and unleashed their forces. They didn't even care that the people were mourning a beloved king or a widow crying her heart out for the loss of the love of her life. Ah yes, trust the Romans to keep their word. That's a bit like sticking your hand in the mouth of a shark and not expecting to be bitten. Within days, they had taken over the kingdom and rounded up all the members of the royal household, including Boudica and her daughters. Not one to sit still while the Romans took over, Boudica challenged Rome's authority and questioned why her husband's will was ignored. Her unrelenting spirit and vociferous nature became a thorn in the flesh of her captors. She tormented them day and night and even threatened to rally men who would stand up against the oppressor. Seeing that her fierce spirit could spark a revolution, her captors thought it wise to break her down and her will to fight. Thus they had her arrested, tied to a pole, and flogged her till her skin became supple. But that did nothing to quench her burning fire. The queen intensified her tirades against the Romans, adding more fuel to her burning desire, a desire to see her husband's will respected. Afraid of what might happen if they did nothing, her captors did the unimaginable. They forcibly slept with her virgin daughters and compelled her to watch. This harsh, inhumane, and barbaric act, coupled with the lashes she received, got to her, and the queen wept her eyes out. No one could console her as she went through the psychological trauma of looking on helplessly as grown men ravaged her daughters. No words could describe the pain and agony as the sad scenes kept playing on in her mind. They kept her company day and night, and she gradually spiraled into depression. But like a sharp light through darkness, her will to fight shone through. She got up, dusted herself off, and resolved to pay the Romans back in equal measure. Moreover, she preferred to live in freedom than become a slave to the dictates and whims of Rome. To make matters worse, Rome impoverished Boudica's people by taking back all the loans that it gave to them. She had reached her limit and now had nothing to lose except her freedom and that of her people. She allowed the anger and hatred she harbored for Rome to ignite that little fire in her into a raging inferno. Boudica was up for revenge, and nothing, not even the mighty Roman juggernaut, would stop her. She was a woman on a mission. Like Boudica, we too are on a mission to bring you exciting historical tales. And with your help, we can make this impossible mission possible, just like Tom Cruise. So if you don't mind, hit that like button and give a subscribe to our channel for more intriguing tales like this. Enamored by her devotion to Andraste, the Celtic goddess of war, and fueled by the desire to free her people, Boudica staged a revolution that surprised many. The Romans didn't envisage, not even in their wildest dreams, that a woman could rally an entire kingdom against their juggernaut. They had put several policies and laws in place to curtail the advancement of women on the social ladder. But Boudica was no ordinary woman. The queen organized the people of Britain and delivered a speech that reignited the passion they lost when the king passed on. They took up arms and swore to give up their lives for their queen and the kingdom. It isn't clear if the Romans knew of their plan, but even if they did, they certainly may have underestimated the wisdom of Boudica. Knowing that a quick victory would inspire confidence in her men, Boudica first attacked the weakest military installation at Camulodunum, which is present-day Colchester. With 120,000 men, and the blessing of Andraste, Boudica ransacked the military installation and brought the city to its knees within days. The men rejoiced at their sudden victory and grew in confidence, as Boudica predicted. Next up was Londinium, present-day London, where Rome had constructed another military installation there and had a few citizens living off the land. Boudica's numbers overwhelmed the Roman soldiers and they took to their heels. The queen took no prisoners. She slaughtered everyone that remained. Her idea was to break the Roman colonizing spirit by making Britain a completely hostile territory. Her victory at Londinium spurred her on to take the town of Verulamium, which is modern-day St. Albans. They pillaged and slaughtered the Romans there without mercy, making a public spectacle of them. Boudica was like a wounded lion. Her rage couldn't be placated. She freed her people in the town she conquered, allowing them once again to live normal lives. However, Boudica's inexperience in war took a dark turn when she attacked the Roman soldiers who had regrouped at an unknown location to stage reprisal attacks. Led by the experienced war dog Suetonius, the Roman soldiers hatched a perfect plan that blunted the edge of Boudica's forces. First, Suetonius secretly called for reinforcement to replace the soldiers he had lost at Londinium and Verulamium. Now numbering about 10,000 men, Suetonius and his forces lured Boudica into a narrow valley between two mountains. When the queen and her forces arrived, the Romans unleashed a barrage of javelins at them, followed by swift horse riders who broke through their ranks. With nowhere to turn and having little experience fighting in a valley, Boudica and her soldiers were at their wits' end. They tried taking a last stand, but the Romans could smell blood. And like a shark homing in on its prey, they went for the jugular. The Roman soldiers marched in a wedge-shaped formation and tore through the Britons like a hot knife through butter. Boudica and her men were unable to thwart Suetonius' genius plan, as the Romans mercilessly slaughtered the Britons. And sadly, women and animals weren't spared the wrath of the Romans. The Roman juggernaut was a well-oiled military machine and on a relentless march, and this time, not even Boudica's rallying cry could stop it. The Britons were unfortunately soundly defeated. Preferring to join her husband in the grave rather than becoming a slave and public spectacle for the Romans, Boudica took her own life. Some historians claim that she passed on after a brief illness, but whatever happened, one thing was for sure: Boudica's name would never be forgotten. Another queen whose name has remained on the lips of many despite conscious efforts to erase her from history was Hatshepsut. Click here to watch her compelling story, and I'll see you there. And until next time, thanks ever so much for watching.